So apparently we're on our way up to Gibby and we got a screw in the tire.
Hey guys, welcome back to Minimal Mystic. Today we are at the auto shop because we got a flat tire.
And of course it had to be in the newest
tire.
Because a few years ago I popped a tire on a curb and I replaced two tires and they rotated them, and of course the one that has to get the screws, not one of the original tires, has to be one of the newer ones, so they're all getting replaced today, which is good for the car, but not good
for our wallet.
No, I only have like maybe 2 months left before I have literally zero money.
Better get cracking.
Scary.
So, again, we're kind of spacing these videos out one every other week at the moment because we don't have a whole lot going on because the next things are kind of big ticket items. But we did start on the flooring. So, as you can see, everything in here is sort of a train wreck because we've reached the end of the guts. And now we have to clean things out so we can start putting things in. So we're just kind of all over the place with things at the moment. And a lot of it back here is power tools and spare pieces of wood that we didn't use yet, but waste not, want not, so we will be. And yeah, we're gonna be taking some stuff out today. We're getting rid of this. We're gonna donate that. This is staying for a while because it's handy. It's an AC unit. It gets hot in here. We need it. And then yeah, just kind of gonna clean up today a little bit. Explain yourself.
So in this corner, it looks like we have an outlet in the floor, which is, I will say, is really stupid to have an outlet flat on the floor where debris and dirt can get into this. It's really grimy. It looks like it was an added addition at some point, but so what we're doing is we're gonna still have an outlet here, except we're gonna extend it up to be about here at some point. So we're doing the floor, but we don't want to take out this just yet. So what we're doing is we cut it, power's off of course for safety, and we're just gonna cap it out, put these back into here, clean all this up at the back, and then we're just gonna glue the floor right over it. So when the time comes, we're just gonna go from underneath and drill the hole through the floor, and we can run it up, because this is all gonna get covered up by the built-in seating, so you're not gonna see it anyway, but we want the flooring to go into it. So there we go. I think we did a boo-boo with the floor, because I feel like since we didn't have much of anything else to do, I felt like we just really wanted to feel like we got something done and finally installed something. So we gave into that feeling and started installing the floor in the living room.
Probably before we were ready to.
Yeah. Well,
because we got more than halfway through the installation, and then I accept responsibility. It is my fault, but it got to the point where we opened up 3 boxes of the flooring and put it down, and then I'm like, well, why are we putting flooring underneath the built-ins that are never going to be seen? We're going to be putting nice flooring underneath these built-ins, and it's never going to be seen. So I was kind of like, well, let's just stop and not do that. That way we're not wasting it. I know, but adapt.
Well, the thing is, I guess because he did the calculations on how much wood we need,
And I still think we have enough, but
the thing is, like, we didn't account for the waste,
Right.
the cutting, like,
because we do have to cut them to fit into place.
And once you kind of cut it, you can't really use that piece
Unless you cut it at like one of the joints, because they clip in together. So unless you cut it at one of the joints,
So
it doesn't really
there's
it
gonna
doesn't
be like
really
a
work.
bit of waste that but I think it's no big deal if we have to buy more, because I mean, we got this stuff cheap, but if we have to actually
Assuming
buy
they have it, hopefully they have it.
if we have to buy a full price somewhere, we probably could. But I only said, sure, let's go ahead and start this project, because I was like, on the assumption we'll do this, because usually the floor is one of the last things you do after you do everything else. But I was like, okay, we can do the floors first, because I thought we were gonna do the whole entire floor and then build the built-ins on top of that, because I can't stand like in like RVs or other boats where you got nice floors and you open up the compartments and you see like the old original flooring in there.
But we're not going to see that. We're not going to do that.
We're not going to, but
We are going to cover it up. We're just going to cover it up with something else.
The way it is now, it's like we like, you'll see in another clip that we're gonna do, but we're gonna have like almost U-shaped seating in there, and part of that flooring is already laid, so that means we're gonna be like going kind of wonky on the measurements, on the cuts, and how we're gonna build this building, and where
It's not
part
going
of
to
it's
be at all like he thinks it is.
I'm just really kind of PO'd at the fact that I only said yes to do the flooring because I thought, okay, because the built-ins were going on top of it. Halfway through, it's like, oh wait, no, we probably shouldn't have done this, and it's like,
But now we know for the back area.
yes, for the back end, we're like, we're gonna do the built-ins first. So I'm trying to get over my "I told you so" feeling, but I just kind of said it, so yeah, I told you so. So he accepts.
Adapt.
Thing is, when you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you can adapt. You can. It's just that
Sounds like a you problem.
it's just that I will be about it.
So we got that. We made progress on the flooring, but
And the thing is, we love the floor.
I love the floor.
The floors
I love
look
the floor.
really good. I really like.
and I'm kind of glad that we did it, because now we know what to expect. Because like when we first started out doing it, it was really slow going and it was really messy. But like towards the end, we had like a full system going. So now we know what to expect and what not to do when we get to the rest of the.
And we bought a router to help make these cuts.
Should have just used the skill saw.
Should have. It's like I've used routers plenty of times before.
Yeah,
and
I have
this,
too.
And I've never had this problem.
The router just dug into the floor.
And like gouged it at like, and I was like, too much, and I was like, damn. So we're gonna get like an extra, probably thick piece of trim.
Which is fine.
It's in a spot where it's like it's okay to.
Yeah, thankfully it is in a spot where we can cover it up with trim. But then, so the other thing that we started doing was I started spackling, because some of the walls, some of the skins on the walls, we're gonna keep, but we don't like them with the grooves in it. So it's like that faux 70s wood paneling.
Yeah.
And I don't like the grooves in it. I want them flat. Those walls I want flat. So we started spackling. So these walls are good. Don't break things.
There's so much.
These walls are good, and so are these walls. So instead of removing them, we're going to spackle the cracks, because we're gonna have beadboard in the ceiling, and we're gonna have wood floors. So there's already a lot of lines. I don't want more lines, so we're just going to fill in these lines, and then we're gonna paint them a nice flat blue color. And it's really cool spackle, actually. Like, so it's pink, and then when it's dry, it turns white. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do now. It's kind of like marshmallow.
What's the consistency like?
It's very thick. This is what I kind of wish like the Bondo and everything was, because this would have made filling in the wood and everything so much better if it were like that. It's filling in nicely though. It's actually very easy to work with.
And it's saying it's no primer.
Yeah, no primer, nothing. Just go.
So I guess you could just do a light sand, get it flush, and paint. And hopefully it turns out good. Like you can't even tell. Because everywhere else we're gonna put on new skins that are smooth.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, we do wallpaper or something. I don't think it's going to be noticeable. We're literally just going to be filling in the holes, filling in these gaps, and then painting it. So we put primer over it, and...
Well, a good place for wallpaper would be probably this wall right there, and the wall back there where we're going to put the TV and the table.
Yeah, but this I think is going to be just fine. I have very little concern about it.
What you doing?
I'm sanding off the
Wow, look at
patches that I did, but it came out. I mean, you really can't tell, and we're going to be putting primer and paint.
I know. I think I might need a second coat. You can feel the dip.
Yeah, I think the paint and the primer will kind of smooth that out a little bit.
I hope so.
But this one you can't feel the dip really at all.
You feel a little bit.
It's really nice when a project or use a product to do something and it goes really nice.
I thought it was going to be a lot more messy and everything than it was, but it actually like just glided on, and it's good. It's pretty smooth. So today we're going to buy some paint and test out the color that we like on one of the walls that we've spackled, and to also see kind of sort of how the spackling works underneath it.
It filled in the grooves, but if you run your fingers across it, you could definitely tell there's a divot there, but hopefully after like a few coats of paint,
you won't even be able to notice, hopefully. And if you can, then we know and we can adjust.
Probably put more spackle.
What you doing?
You know damn well what I'm doing.
What you doing? What happened?
I wasn't trying to open it yet. That's what happened. I was just trying to loosen the top of the lid, and then it fell.
So we got a good glob of paint on the new floors. You still see it a little bit, but... So if anyone's gonna be doing this, here's another tip for you. Always put down the protection. This was on the boat previously from the previous owners, the paper thing. It opens up and pretty much covers the whole room. But yeah, before even opening paint cans or whatever, open that up, get all the prep ready, so you don't have any accidents.
I'm painting. We filled in the grooves from that old retro 70s wood panel with putty, and now
It took two coats or two tries with the spackle.
Interesting.
Spackle.
The spackle is turning darker than the rest. So,
Was it dry all the way?
Yep.
Well,
We'll put it on there and
Just-
put another coat.
well, the good thing is this wall isn't really going to be...
No, seen at all. That's why we tested this wall first, because this is going to be hidden by a built-in sofa.
Which you wouldn't think, because spackle's meant to cover up holes and whatnot in drywall and stuff like that. You wouldn't think it would just go darker. Just took some off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw it.
And we also kind of did more with the wiring, trying to figure out how the wiring in this boat was done, because it's done stupid. It was done because like they clearly thought no one's ever going to touch us ever again, because they had like bundles that were like electrical taped really tight, and then they had like another bundle somewhere electrical taped, and then they bundled that together and electrical taped that, and they're like, oh wait, then we got this bundle that's electrical taped.
They just did a garbage
so you got this, so you can't pull any individual wires, so I literally have to get into these uncomfortable positions and cut all the tape off and just kind of figure out what wire is what. They half follow the ABYC color code standards, it seems like.
Jordan thinks he's an electrical engineer now.
Oh, I absolutely would not say that at all. But
Yes, you did. You said it just before I recorded. I heard him.
I did not.
You did.
But yeah, this is a big nest.
Look at that. Look at that.
We're gonna have to
Look at it.
One thing about taking on a project like this yourself is that you learn a lot of skills you never would have otherwise. Got some kids swimming out there. So there's like a wire harness that I guess Gibson used for their panel. So here's the connection here, and this connects to the panel, and I guess this runs all the way down the boat and into the engine room, where it connects to another connection to the engine to get the, I guess, data for the gauges. But the problem is that this thing's attached and taped with all the other lines going that way, so we're not able to pull it out wire by wire, unfortunately. And I reached out to Gibson, and they do not offer the wiring harnesses. So what we're gonna have to do is eventually trace everything wire by wire and probably make our own wiring harness, or whenever we get our new custom panel, whatever is there, we'll figure it out. But it's a mess right now, and right now it's just learning what color code wires mean what. So ABYC color, you can see that. ABYC cable and wire codes for marine and boat wiring. It's all for safety, and boat manufacturers should be using this. So,
And people remodeling boats.
should, but the thing is, people like all the DIYers or wannabe electricians, they'll just use whatever wire color they have on hand. So like they'll have one color going into another, and you think it's something, but it's really not, and that's gonna be very dangerous, because one day they're like, oh, this kind of system will be this color, but then the next day they're like, oh, it's gonna be this color. And that's why for the DC wiring, that's why they used to be red for positive, negative for black, but now they actually changed it to yellow instead of black for the neutral. The reason why they did that is because for AC, you have the black, I believe that is the positive for the AC electrical, and if they're all next to each other, you might be touching a live positive 120 volt cable, and you think it's the negative for DC. So safety reasons, it's very important. Color codes, very important. So found another janky thing, and it kind of solves a lot of questions that I was having. So this is the bathroom. I guess the toilet was here at one point, and there was like an access hatch to get to some wiring or whatever. I was wondering, where the hell are the positive and negative house battery wires going from the house battery to the helm that supplies the power to the helm? I just couldn't see them. I didn't know where they were. And in the engine compartment, I can see the wires that were the house battery connections and wires. They ran into this wall coming down, and it's supposed to kind of go all the way around up to the helm there. The problem was, I saw them coming in from there, but I do not see them running along in there. And so I was like, what the hell? So I took all this away, and I was able to see them right there. And I saw them here once I got my phone and looked with the camera inside here. Look at this. Duct tape and a plastic bag. They must have just cut it. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's not how you do things. No. I'm so glad we're doing all this now, because they really messed up big time. So I was like, so it was clear that the previous people did not ever take this out. And I'm like, how are they? That must have been what these two freaking batteries were. These, which were located back here, must have been directly tied in over there. Maybe, I don't know. But when I went to disconnect it, they weren't connected to anything. So I was like, how did that get any power when we first got the boat? I honestly don't know. Oh, you filming me? You filming me? You filming me? see myself in your reflection.
The wires are what? The nerves. The nerves of Gibby, and we're like dissecting her, or him, to him. Gibby's a him.
Sure.
Dory's a girl.
Okay.
But yeah, just being able to kind of...
Gibby's non-binary.
Okay, no. Yeah, but just getting to the point of like actually figuring out what this big rat's because when you look at the rat's nest, it's intimidating. You're like, but like finally figuring out like, okay, this wire is connected here, this wire is running this way under, and like I'm finding wire under areas I didn't think there was wire. So like we also took care of that terrible, dusty, musty, blue 80s shaggy carpet.
Finally got the shaggy carpet
which was a pain. Oh, we're done.
We'll be back. Careful. What you doing?
Pulling down the carpet. It's gross and from the 80s. It's really hard to pull out carpet. You can really tack it in.
I mean, look at all the freaking tacks in the wall.
All this dust just flew right all.
Here, catch.
What? No, it's just gonna make me blind.
Oh, okay.
You messed up my new info. But I did find a wire. I found the wire for the nav light on that side. You can't see where I'm pointing, can you?
I can.
I got the bag in the way. Ew.
So, what he's doing is obviously pulling out the carpet that's lining the inside, because
Oh my god.
where that line of carpet is where we're going to be putting
all that dust.
Ew, gross.
Is it all over me?
A little bit. That's where we're going to be putting the frame for the built-in. So you're not really going to see that. And we're going to do like a little hidden passageway.
Yeah, to get into the cuddy. Normally, the hole was always here, but they had like a little mini like wall, kind of like this one right here coming out, where the I guess the closet used to be. There used to be another small one right here, and then you'd have the built-in LC couch. So that way, when you came down here, it'd give you like a little bit more storage for the people down here and whatnot. But I guess this will be this whole. I guess from right here to here is probably gonna lift up, and so you have all this space to come down into here.
And we're back. 5 new tires.
5.
I was just kidding. 4 new tires. Very expensive.
I was like,
$500.
But it's needed.
Yeah, better gas mileage, hopefully. But anyway, back to what we were saying. Blue carpet.
So before we got cut off, yeah, the terrible, gross blue carpet was disgusting and really hard to pull off. There was so many freaking staples. And I accidentally, like, as I was trying to pull off a piece, my hand slipped off, and I was using like a crowbar, and my hand went like pretty much karate chopped a crowbar, and now I can barely make a fist, and it just hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm wearing a white shirt again. Surprising.
Always.
I think all y'all think I just have white shirts.
Well, because it's true. He only has white shirts. But yeah, so that's the status of things as they stand. And we've got some unboxing videos for you coming up too, kind of to sprinkle in between, because we're actually starting to buy stuff. So those will be coming up. And
I don't know what, but something
snuck in.
We're having like a squatter of either a snake, a squirrel, or something, because we found poop inside the back of the boat, in the back room. I was like, what is this? And I also saw
all over our
pee,
cups.
and there was like thick gooey pee everywhere. And I also found, like, yesterday in the engine compartment, I saw another poo pile. And it's like, what the hell?
Something snuck in.
How is something getting in?
Something thinks it lives there.
We haven't seen anything or any other indication, so...
Nope. So we discovered, because it rained a little bit, that we thought we finished and fixed all of the leaks, and we've repaired this one twice now, but evidently we still didn't get it all because it's still coming in right over here where the kitchen is. It's permeating through there. I know where it's coming in, and I thought I got it, but I evidently didn't get it enough to stop the water from coming in. So this time we're going to do epoxy. We're going to stick some of the epoxy that we've been using inside of the walls down in there, so hopefully it'll seal it all up and we'll be done with the leaks for good.
And just wait for the next storm and be like, did we do it?
Yeah, cross our fingers next time it rains. So
But
we'll see.
that's a good thing when you're working on projects and finding leaks. Just be on your boat when there's a big storm and
Yep.
pay attention.
Yeah.
You'll discover a lot. So you do this first, then caulk it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully this is
Let it dry. So this is where I'm 99% sure the leaking is coming in. You injecting it?
Yeah, it's coming out.
Slowly.
It's like mainly right around here, I think.
Yeah, get all over there. Even go up it a little bit. I'm gonna go in and see if it's coming down at all. But yeah, so anyway, keep on following, liking, sharing, support our Patreon if you want. You get things if you do that. There are things there.
Help us.
And
You're
help.
our only hope.
Help. Anyways, peace out. And it is so hot. What are you doing? Are you trying to catch it?
I'm bagging the air to bring up there because it's hot up there now. Now move!
Okay. Did it feel better?
Actually, like a degree.
Oh, okay, good.
Feel how cool this is.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, this is actually cool. You're weird.
Yes,
You're weird.
You're the one who wants to marry this.